Okay guys, in this video we're talking about a very rare sword. It has a heavy attack that can't be interrupted. It shoots projectiles like a staff, and it will make everyone you know very jealous indeed. Here's where to find it and how to upgrade it to get insane damage. The sword in question is the Lazuli Glintstone sword, and it's the closest thing you're gonna get to the Master Sword. It scales primarily with strength and intelligence, so it's a great weapon if you're high in either of those, and it's really underrated because, well, no one really knows about it. The drop rate is said to be 2%, making it one of the rarest swords in the whole game. There are some swords that are listed as having smaller drop rates on the wiki. I'm thinking the Noble Slender Sword and the Magma Sword, which have tiny drop rates like 0.5%, but make no mistake, you will have to grind to get your Lazuli Glintstone sword. This makes it one of the lesser known about weapons in all of Elden Ring. So that's a general overview of the sword, but where can you get your hands on it? Well, it drops from one enemy and one enemy only, and that's the Lazuli Sorcerer. These guys can be found at Caria Manor and Raya Lucaria Academy, but the fastest way to farm your sword off them is at the latter. So head to Raya Lucaria Academy, and the site of grace you want to go to is called the Schoolhouse Classroom. Just a heads up, you don't have to be playing as Tommy Vercetti from GTA Vice City, but you can if you want. From here, head to the hallway and kill the first Lazuli Sorcerer. This is the guy that's going to hopefully drop the sword. That's if you don't drop dead yourself from old age, because for me this took a very long time. But thankfully the sorcerer could not be nearer to the site of grace unless he was literally standing in it and his clothes were all on fire. So all in all, this run takes about 10 seconds. You don't even need to wait for the body to hit the deck. You can tell if the sword is going to drop because you'll see a bright glowing orb. If there's no orb, there's no sword. So kill the sorcerer, see if a glowing orb drops, and if not, fast travel back and repeat. The only other thing the orb could be if it wasn't the sword is the Lazuli robes, which is a rare armor piece, and it looks pretty nice. So either way, this is the enemy to farm for your rare Lazuli needs. You get the sword and you get the robes. But there's a way to dramatically speed up the process and make our run as efficient as it can possibly be. I make sure to mention this farming technique on every video so you have the most pain-free weapon hunting experience, but if you didn't know about it, here's what to do. You basically want to raise your arcane to the highest level it can be, and all of these items here increase arcane. So we have the Silver Scarab Talisman. This increases arcane the most. Then we have Marika's Soreseal, which raises your arcane also. And we have Godric's Great Rune, which boosts stats across the board, so use your Rune Arc to activate that. Rune Arcs aren't infinite, of course, they do run out, but the effect lasts until you die. Even if you fast travel or rest at a site of grace, the effects will last, so just don't die and you'll have that stat boost. For an easy way to get Rune Arcs, click the video above. And finally, you can use the Silver Tier Mask to raise your arcane as well. This is the helm with the highest arcane boost. But if you really wanted to go all in, you can boost your arcane all the way to 99 by visiting Renala and respecking your levels. Put as many runes as you can into arcane to really maximize your item discovery. I mean, you will have to knock back other stuff, you know, like health and stamina, but this is only temporary. You can respec back after. This is just our farming build. It's a lot quicker to farm items when you've got a high arcane. And anyway, this sorcerer isn't going to trouble us anytime soon, so you might as well take all your levels away from health and stamina and put them into arcane. Okay, with all that done, we're ready to get the sword. And what do you know, we get it immediately. It was almost inevitable. Crazy how these things happen. It's almost like I had recorded the footage of me getting the sword earlier, and I'm now reacting to that footage at a later time. But how do we make this rare, powerful sword even better? First, we upgrade it. If you've not got enough smithing stones, just buy some more from the Twin Maiden at the round table. If you need more runes, just do a rune farm. There's loads of rune farms out there, but my favorite is still this old one. So head here, kill all these guys over and over again. God, I do feel sorry for these dudes. Once you've upgraded the sword to at least double digits, if not level 25, then make sure you're rocking the right talismans. The Great Shield Talisman makes your blocking better by 10%. So when you use the charged attack with a Lazuli Glintstone sword, you'll automatically block all attacks, and the Great Shield Talisman just improves that. Two-handing this weapon will increase its guard by 10%, just like with any other weapon, and this does stack with the Great Shield Talisman, so now, boom, you've got 20% better guards. I'd also slap on the Axe Talisman to increase charged attack damage by 10%, just to really boost the sword's best attack. Definitely recommend doing that. Seriously, the blocking on this sword outperforms most shields, and this is a sword, it's not even a shield. Even some of the heavy shields, the blocking on this sword manages to outperform them. You can still get killed though, so watch out for that. It doesn't negate damage, it just stops you getting your poise broken. In terms of its Ash of War, it's the Glintstone Pebble, and it's actually pretty great. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it's amazing at breaking stances. And then you can run up and do your takedown, your assassination, your move, whatever you call it. But there's a way to do a follow-up attack that does get slept on. So here's how to do it. First, fire off your Glintstone Pebble, then follow up with a strong attack, and you'll chain this skill into this sort of lunging thrust, while your sword is still imbued with that delicious blue Glintstone juice. It still counts as part of the weapon skill, so you can buff it with the Shard of Alexander. The Shard of Alexander is a talisman that boosts the attack power of skills by 15%. And also add in the Spear Talisman as well. The Spear Talisman increases thrusting weapon counterattacks by 15%, so that's 30% in total. Because that lunge is, after all, a thrust. Lunges are thrusts, thrusts are lunges. If you've leveled up your intelligence to something like 70 or 80, this Glintstone attack followed by the lunge is going to result in some insane damage, especially with the talismans on top. Anyway, that was how to get and upgrade the rare Lazuli Glintstone sword. High performance and low stat requirements make this great in the early game, and when you upgrade it, it stays great late game too. A good sword to use if you're a pure mage build, or you've got like really high intelligence. Definitely use this sword. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Sign down below if you're part of the exclusive club that already has this sword, and if you do, let me know what you think of it. As always, for more Elden Ring, guys, subscribe to the channel.